Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. We're in this special edition in Artist Lockdown. And today I want to talk about what happens when your MFA program gets affected by the pandemic. And today I have with me none other than my good friend, Paola Estrella, joining us from Mexico City. Hi, Paola. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you for inviting me.
Super happy to have you here. I haven't seen you in a couple of years or more, maybe. And we have known each other for a while. We met here in Chicago and then in Miami, which we had also a great time there at Art Basel and so on. And I've been following your career. And you are based in Mexico City. That's your home. And then you went to London to the Royal College of Art there for an MFA program. And we're going to talk a little bit about how, that has been affected by the lockdown that we're all experiencing. And also because I think there are many artists watching this right now who may be in the same situation, who are running or doing their own programs, and now they are kind of like in limbo, right? Figuring out what to do next. So I think it's going to be a great conversation. But before we do that, Paola, tell us a little bit how things are looking there for you in Mexico City.
Well, it's warmer, obviously, than London.
So that's happy. A good part. That's the good part.
I'm happy for that. I think that the lockdown has been taken a bit more seriously in the past 2 weeks here in Mexico. So we don't get a lot of people in the streets anymore, which I think it's very good that it's finally happening. Yeah. And well, yeah, basically I arrived 2.5 weeks ago here to Mexico City. And yeah, it's been.
So tell us a little bit about the program that you were going through. Your MFA. Where's your focus on the program? How far were you in the program, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I was in studying an MA in contemporary art practice. And my pathway was called Public Sphere. And I was in my last semester. So these were going to be like from January till summer, were going to be my last 6 months. So in June, July, we were going to have the graduate show. Okay. And well, yeah, what happened is that, I think that, that a school had to make some decisions when it comes to, when the pandemic started to get worse in the UK. So we were notified 2 days. We were notified that the school was gonna change the teaching online, but then the school closed, and then we weren't able to go back to our studios. So that was like I think a lot of people are experiencing that sort of a lot of different things right now when it comes to the pandemic. But I think it was hard for the group that we were working together in the studios not to be able to go back.
So it was totally closed, shut down. You were not able to work in for picking up stuff or anything like that.
Exactly. So like all our paintings, our work was left in the studio. If we had, we were notified a week in advance. They said if you have any documents, important documents or laptops, try not to leave them in the studio in case we have to lock the school. But then it came out of not nowhere, but basically, yeah, it was. We didn't have time to go and pick our artworks or anything. So I think that gave it a little bit of like a nostalgic because a lot of the people are going back to their countries. So basically the school, we as students were trying to ask the RCA to support us with a degree show after this whole thing was over, but they chose to move everything online, and they suggested only an online degree show. So I think that as we were talking before, I think that the degree show, it is very important. It's not like it's as in other careers or other MBAs or that you don't really need the physical interaction in the studios, or like putting up a show and having this people visiting the show, galleries, this interaction. It's like, I think it's essential for artists that are doing an MFA. So that's also, I decided to go back January next year to do the whole semester again. but not everyone had the same possibility. So
Yeah.
some people are gonna be graduating online. This
Wow. Which,
summer.
yeah, and we exactly, you say we were talking about that a little bit before the call on how important it is for a program, a graduate program, to have that exhibition, because that not only good for the students, but also it brings curators, brings galleries, brings the public at large to come and see what the students have been working on for this whole in-depth program. And for the artists also to document that show is very important as well. So for the school not to commit to, to not to do anything beyond that, it's something that we were really talking about, that not really fair for the graduating class, right? And everybody, I think, understands that, well, that's not possible right now, but to say, well, we're never going to do it, that just puts everything out of the table. So
yeah, I think that we were basically asking them to open their options, so that we were saying, like, if some people want to graduate online this summer because some people have other things to do, it's okay, but just give us this alternative of using the facilities afterwards and joining the graduate show next year, something like that, or part of our fees back, because as artists, what we're paying for is also to use the facilities, to that part that it's quite limited if we are only being taught online. So but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
crazy.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Paola, because I think, like I said, there are probably many other artists who may be watching this who are possibly in a similar situation as you have. And particularly because also graduate programs brings artists from around the world. It's not just, your city, college, or university, but it really, particularly places like the Royal College of Art in London, bring artists from around the world, and, the importance of that. So now, as this has happened, you have now returned to Mexico City. So tell us a little bit about how you are adjusting as an artist to now being back in Mexico after a couple of weeks, and maybe what type of the work that you were doing in London can you still continue to work on while at home?
I am working on I am working in a project called A Timeless Parallel, that it's about 10 fictional characters that live in a building in Mexico City. So it's basically like a tour around the building where the observer is a voyeurist and gets to spy the characters through their window. So it was supposed to be a video installation, but then now what I am doing, it's adapting to the situation, because a video installation obviously needs the observer to be there, the visitor to be there in person. And I was working with Arduino and time, space, how you enter the space. So now I'm changing. I've been doing a lot of research online about artists that work digitally. So I'm considering new possibilities of delivering this project for now as maybe it's going to be a short film, maybe it's going to be an interactive platform. So I'm basically trying to open to new possibilities and try things out. And it's been interesting. I think it's been interesting. Even if I end up doing the video installation at some point, I think it's also good to try things that maybe you wouldn't have tried before, or in other circumstances, if this wouldn't have happened.
and I think as you're describing the project, I think makes it even more interesting in a time where we are all confined to our homes, because you always wonder, what people on the other side are they doing right now, right? There's like, now that nobody can go anywhere, there's like this kind of a curiosity of, I wonder what the neighbors are doing, right? And I wonder what the person next door is doing. So maybe tell me a little bit if this kind of a conversation that's happening right now may also influence the work that you are doing in the project.
I think definitely, because this project started, I really liked walking down that street and spying the people that lived in the building. But I was mainly interested not in the people, but in the fact that if you only saw part of what they were doing, then this imagination gets stimulated, so you come up with crazy stories in your head. And I think that now that is sort of happening also virtually. So we get a lot of this access to other people's lives. So we get like both, watching the neighbors, what they're doing physically, but also this voyeurism that happens online.
Yes.
Where we're allowed to see each other's houses or sharing social platforms as well, part of our reality, and then leaving a lot of it to the imagination as well. Right. So that has become something very interesting for me in this project as well.
Yeah, and even as we do like the Zoom calls like now, for example, we are coming to your space, right, in a way. My space has been kind of neutralized from the home element right now. But when we chat with the artists on the other side, you know, we're getting a pinhole view of the much larger context. So it's very interesting. So I really look forward to see how your artwork will evolve. It will continue to change over time. Paola, super excited about that. Where can our friends find you on Instagram if they want to see more of your projects, or website or whatnot?
My website is paolaestrella.com, and my Instagram is PY_star.
PY_star. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very
my
cool.
last name means star, so that's why.
Perfect. Yeah, makes total sense. Well, thank you, Paola, again for joining me and for joining us all here. Thank you so much for your time. We wish you well, safety as well as you continue to working as an artist and adapting now to this change as well in Mexico City. So thanks to all our friends also for watching today. Thank you for joining us. Please share this episode with a friend. That will make Paola and I super grateful and excited. So bye, Paola.
Bye.